he's a great fighter. Maybe this is more strong the 154 pound. No, I want this fight.
Congrats to the Argentinian Brian Castano, who won the WBO Junior Middleweight Championship Saturday night over Patrick Teixeira. Castano was an 8-1 favorite over Teixeira, and he showed why Saturday night. Next up, he wants Jermell Charlo. Both guys are PBC fighters. Should not be a hard fight to make since they both belong to the PBC. Castano says he only needs a month off and he'll be ready to go to training camp. This fight will give the PBC an undisputed champion. Also, it forces the PBC to acknowledge the WBO. And the reason they don't acknowledge the WBO is because they don't have any champions. Until now, Brian Castano is now a champion with a WBO title. All the WBO champions belong to the zone and top rank. If you look at Castano's amateur career, he has some good wins in amateurs. In 2011, he beat Errol Spence. In 2012-13 season, he beat Sergey Derevchenko. Castano has made it clear that he wants to unify with Charlo. He wants that to be the next fight. They asked Castano how do you think the fight would go. He says a 50-50 fight. He says Charlo's a great fighter. Train every day for him. My dream is to have 4 belts and be undisputed champion. Now, even though I would pick Jermell Charlo, he's my favorite to win this fight, I wouldn't count on Castano because Jermell Charlo hasn't looked unbeatable, meaning he has lost before. Castano brings decent pressure. I actually think this could be a decent. He's not scared to let his hands go, and it seems like he has a decent chin. I guess we'll just have to sit back and see if Al Haymon and Jermell Charlo will make this fight. Castano already spoke. The ball's in their court.
I didn't mention Oscar at the time we both fought. Yeah, he would probably beat both guys. Oscar would have been the top one. The reason why I say that for me in my era of Oscar is because we kind of grew up together and I knew where he came from. I knew how hard he worked.
Right.
And I've been in the room with him so many different times.
Yeah.
And every time I was in the ring with him, sparring or not sparring, it was very tough.
6th division world title holder, all-time great, Oscar De La Hoya, still planning to make a comeback in boxing. And why not? You got Holyfield with 58, Tyson 54, you got Roy Jones still fighting, he's in his 50s. Oscar De La Hoya is a baby compared to those guys. He's 47 years old. And Oscar De La Hoya is planning to come back in professional boxing. Not exhibition, and De La Hoya is looking for the big fights. And one of the fighters he brought up was Triple G. He says Triple G's style is perfect for him. One fighter he said he will not fight again is Manny Pacquiao. He said Manny Pacquiao had a bad style for him. He would never do that again. He also called out Mayweather for a revenge fight. He also mentioned that he would consider a fight with Canelo, which would be a suicide. I think Canelo would enjoy that fight too much. What comes back to the statement Shane Mosley said a few years back, that a prime Oscar De La Hoya would beat a prime Canelo in Mayweather. When De La Hoya fought Mayweather, he was 34 years old. That's not ancient, but a lot of people felt that De La Hoya was past his prime. Now, when Shane Mosley fought De La Hoya in 2000, he was 27 years old. Shane Mosley said that De La Hoya, who lost to Trinidad, but a lot of people thought De La Hoya won that fight. It was a very controversial decision. He might have a point when it comes to Mayweather because De La Hoya, a 34-year-old De La Hoya, lost a close decision to a 30-year-old Mayweather who's in his prime. The same De La Hoya that fought Shane Mosley, he might have beat Floyd Mayweather. We don't know. Now, when it comes down to Canelo, it's about size. Canelo's best weight is 160, 168. The lowest he's been is 140, but Canelo turned pro at 15 or 16 years old. De La Hoya's best weight is 147 and under. I'm thinking the size of Canelo could be a big problem. Would De La Hoya's excellent jab and devastating left hook be enough to take out Canelo? Do you agree with Shane Mosley that a prime Oscar would beat a prime Canelo and Mayweather? Also, what are your thoughts of Brian Castano versus Jermell Charlo unification match. I think De La Hoya possibly could have beat Mayweather in his prime. I think Canelo was a little too big. Anyway, leave your thoughts and comments below. Jay Beezy. Subscribe to the channel. I'm gone.